Well, hey out there. This episode number 70 of Wired Up Retro is for the Atari 5200 fans. And if you don't count yourself among the elite crew of Atari 5200 fans, you know, after today's episode, you might be pleasantly surprised at a new control option for the 5200. They don't call it the Super System for nothing. These games that you can play on the 5200 are just excellent fun, and I definitely would say you might want to take a second look at the 5200 if you discounted it before. Now, this episode is really a review of a new Atari 5200 control option, and I've decided to do it in two parts. So what I have here is an adapter made by Mark Trombly that's hardwired to a PlayStation USB controller. This is actually a PC controller. It's got an analog button. You press it and it goes into digital mode. You can use the stick in digital mode, and then you can press the analog button. It lights up red, and then it's now an analog mode. So anyways, the keypad is a really nice one, and the housing that it's contained in is just really high quality. I would say it doesn't even look like a 3D print job. It looks like it's professionally put together here and nicely done. Very compact, very impressive. All right, so a couple of things about this adapter, and I'll be touching on some of the features of it along the way in the episode. But on a typical 5200 game, you just plug in this into your left controller one port of your 5200. And I got my left thumb on the stick. Let's go ahead and play a little River Raid. And you can tell I'm getting nice control. And you can slow down by pulling back on the stick. And you can also push forward to go a little faster, or way too fast, which is the way it always works out for me. Now, the nice thing about the 5200 version is that you can actually temper that speed that when you're going a little faster. Like this would be tilting the stick up maybe 50%. Let me show you that again. Tilting the stick up 50%, and then full strength. So it is offering analog aspects, which are very cool. All right, so let's show some other games off. I will just show a standard digital game next, and then I'm going to go more into those analog games. All right, let's give Joust a try. Let's see how well we can do with this controller. Right now I got it in analog mode, though it, again, just doesn't matter. I can turn it off, and it's going to be controlled digitally either way. So this game I like to call Flappy Bird for smart people, and it's definitely one of my favorites. So as you can see, I'm getting very nice control with the USB controller, and very much looking forward to showing you some of the analog games. So let's go ahead and head that direction next. All right, so here's my go-to analog game, Missile Command. Put it in the red mode, okay, and then let's get the game started. So you can see we've got very fast cursor movement. It is going to be really tough to control this game. I'm going to put it in Mark Trombly's special analog mode by pressing those two buttons. And yeah, he's made a special mode for this controller, which enables much, much better control. For a thumbstick controller, you can actually play Missile Command for quite a while with that. And you can see I'm getting pretty slow movement of the cursor, which helps for accuracy. The downside is it may be a little too slow, especially in the later levels. I think I made it to past, I don't know, level 7 or 8, and then it really started speeding up, and I needed to have that cursor moving quicker. So yeah, I've talked to Mark about this, and he told me he's got plans to have an adjuster that enables you to change the speed of the special analog mode for the cursor in Missile Command. Maybe also in games like Super Breakout. It's a little slow for that game too, but having an adjustment to the speed could be very helpful. But yeah, I mean, it's working okay for the earlier Missile Command levels. Now, one game that I've had really nice control using that special mode is Gorf. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'll show you what I'm talking about there. So you just saw me turn on the console and I'm getting nothing but a black screen. Why is that? Well, I've got the adapter plugged in. There are 1 or 2 games on the 5200 that this adapter doesn't want to work with when you have it plugged in initially. That's Gorf and Beam Rider. Let's turn it off, unplug the adapter, turn it on, and my game boots up. Now I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, and this works for Beam Rider as well. It's now ready to be played. Don't ask me why that is, but it is the way it is. So this is, again, really fast movement on screen. I'm going to put it in special mode, analog mode. Much, much better. In fact, you know, on Missile Command, this was a little too slow, but this special analog mode in Gorf, I think, is the right speed. I don't think it's too slow, and I think it's just fast enough to provide accurate control. Now I'll show you an analog game that is one of those back and forth paddle games. So on Kaboom, we put it in analog mode, and if we hit the start button, you can see we're going to have very fast movement. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to that special mode. As you can see, this is just going to be way too slow for the really fast levels. So that's a little unfortunate, but again, with Mark making a new level changer for the speed of it, I think that may potentially be really awesome. And okay, so we got Star Wars the arcade game. You can see very fast cursor movement, not going to be real accurate. Switch it into that special analog mode. It's going to be a little slow. So yeah, this is not going to work. Needs to be able to be adjusted. All right, we'll wait for that on the next revision, hopefully. All right, we'll see how it goes. Now, when it comes to Robotron 2084, I've got both plugged in, right and left plugs plugged in. I had to have it on analog to get it to respond. So if it's in digital mode, you're not going to be able to get that right stick working. Works great. I would definitely say this is a wonderful mode for both Space Dungeon and Robotron 2084. The two stick games for the 5200 are going to get a great playthrough with this adapter. I'm pretty happy about this. Okay, yeah, I'll give you a little taste of what Space Dungeon is like with it. All right, and just one more game for fun. This is a prototype, actually not the prototype that was originally available, but you know, a copy of the prototype that people made available. Xevious. This is one of the very first games that allowed you to not just, you know, shoot at things coming down from the sky, but actually have an under-scrolling background which would allow you to play over a landscape. I would say, you know, from a prototype standpoint, this is a nice looking game. It definitely isn't 100% finished, but it's pretty good. From what I understand, this was found on a disc that was from Atari, and pretty amazing to find a 5200 prototype. Now, not that long ago, really. And it was specifically going to be released for the 5200. And not necessarily Atari 800, but if it was released on the 800, it would have been identical. I think we have a boss. Ah. Special thanks goes out to Pete Spyback, my buddy, who loaned me this particular game, and having Xevious around the house has been definitely a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it. I do actually own Xevious on the 7800, and of course that was made years after this came out, or actually years after this was made. This never came out, and it looks a little superior, I guess you could say, but not really that much superior. Yeah, 7800 might have just a little better graphics chip, but just barely. Ah, man, it got me. Anyway, yeah, this is kind of an addicting game. Okay, we're going to round out this episode with just a little bit more information about the adapter and the USB controller. So just to reiterate, there were only really 3 games I found that gave me any difficulty, and those were Kaboom. With its special analog mode, the adapter is just a little too slow. And then Super Breakout, same applies. And Star Wars the arcade game, again, just a bit too slow. So when the revision comes out, I will definitely be making a whole Wired Up Retro episode about that adapter, and it's going to hopefully allow for just general USB controllers to be plugged in. So that could be kind of an interesting episode, as I have quite a few USB PC controllers, and we'll see. You know, I'm sure some aren't going to work, and then there are going to be some that do. So we'll go into that in the near future. Now, some of the games I did try that worked very, very well include Joust. I really like it with this controller. It works very well. You know, some people have the Maker Matrix controller, and I found that Joust gave me a little trouble with this. It wasn't working right. Now, there are some people who own this who say it works fine for them. So just to let you know, I had a much better experience with Joust with this than I did with that. But you know, that Maker Matrix controller has a lot of neat features. It actually has the keypad on board as opposed to, you know, a separate little piece of equipment. So, and that is a pro, or a little added benefit. All right, I tried pole position. It is very, very nice with this adapter and the controller. Beam Rider worked very well, and I did try Wizard of War. You have to plug it into port 2 to get it to work. It works really, really nicely also. So yeah, so many great games. The 5200, I would say of the library, you're probably going to have like 94% that are going to be working just fine with this as it is, and maybe that'll be up to 100% once the revision is completed. So, all right. Well, I will be putting up a new episode in the not too distant future, probably pretty quick here. So I will look forward to sharing that with you soon. You guys subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a like, and if you want to comment below about any 5200 controllers that you've been trying and want to participate in the comments with me, I definitely will participate. All right, you guys keep having fun out there at gaming, and I look forward to talking to you in the near future. You take care.